Now, I love making these videos for you guys, and I'll tell you why. And gals, whatever your gender, it doesn't matter. And before I speak about whatever wants to come out, I want to point out, hey, walking bare feet on the ground helps with that sense of groundedness and connectedness with the world around us. There's no doubt to this, that everything on the physical body has a purpose. Hair, too. It's not for aesthetics and appearance. And so what is its purpose? It helps, it's like a cap. It helps keep the spiritual energy within the body because it's in an upward spiral flow, momentum, as this energy is perpetually flowing up towards the brain and beyond. And so the hair is a cap that keeps it within the body, allows one to retain the physical body, simultaneously knowing that, hey, this is not my identity, that everything that I have, technically, legally, actually, is borrowed from the planet. And same with this body, simply a piece of the planet, right? But what animates it? What is beyond it? That's what I want to talk about. Now, be honest with yourself. Say you're an extrovert, a very social being, and therefore how you are doesn't matter so much, but rather how you look is what matters more to you, your appearance. But think about it and be honest with yourself. You don't have to admit it to me or anybody else. Simply within yourself, be honest and ask, is how I am, is my being and my way of living, is that the priority? Is that more important? Or is other people's opinions, how they perceive me, is that influencing me and crafting my life? Because in relation to a common theme on this channel, semen retention or celibacy or abstinence, whatever the label, basically retaining your sexual energy, and in my case, eternally, because I made a definite decision to forego sexuality completely, whereas others may practice sexual restraint or discipline in this way for a set amount of time. But the whole idea is that we want to transcend time and realize that actually it's illusory because our true identity is eternity. And everything that is physical in nature is cyclical. In order for anything to exist physically in the universe, it has to be in a cycle. But the whole idea is to simultaneously exist physically and be aware from within a physical body, but transcend it while still within it. To transcend time, to transcend cycles, to transcend the planetary trajectory. The Earth is moving in cycles and circles around the sun. And so everyone on this planet has this common ground of physicality, of a physical body. And also there is a commonality of divinity, which is beyond personality and beyond the physicality. And so we don't want to just think in terms of possessions, property, and money, because money is great. To be materially affluent is great. But it's good in the pocket. As soon as it enters one's head, that's when it becomes a problem. Because then people start thinking that that is the source that is allowing them to survive. That is the source of their existence. And they live for that in the cycle of survival. and going in perpetual circles. Whereas in the Bible and other cultures, it says that the path is straight and narrow. And so we don't want to be moving in circles. There's no problem. We can be, as long as we're conscious that, hey, as I exist, as a piece of the planet, I don't identify with it. And therefore, as I don't identify with it, how people perceive it and look at it is not important. What becomes more important, what is more important, is our being. Is crafting our life in a way, and the nature of our activity in a way that harmoniously impacts the world around us. And we don't want to act with being overconscious about the social impact. Because the point is, that we want activity to be freeing and liberating. But if activity is about me, about maintaining a personality and a social image, then it's binding. It leads to entanglement. Whereas activity that is about serving others, so-called others, is freeing. And it leads to fulfillment and enlightenment. Because there's no end to serving others. And therefore it can never lose meaning. And it's ever freeing. And so abstaining is a great method, a way to keep on that straight and narrow path. To transcend the cyclical movement of the planet and of the physicality that is the human body. To transcend this, to go beyond this, abstinence. This is not something that I made up, but this is an awareness that is understood throughout many different cultures and countries, throughout all of history. And how did all these cultures, different peoples, come to the same conclusion that sexual restraint and abstinence frees us? Whereas with sexual excess, there's negative consequence. In Taoism, the spiritual sexual energy is referred to as Jing essence. Whereas in Hinduism, in ancient Indian culture, it's referred to as ojas. Essentially, it's spiritual energy. All religions rooted in truth share this commonality, pointing at the truth with different words and labels and stories and allegories and parables. But when we see it clearly, we see their commonality. And we don't identify with one of them at the exclusion of others. Think that, hey, this is the right one. My way is the only way, is the right way. Because we transcend the knowledge of good and evil, as it talks about in the Bible. Right and wrong, and good and bad, and essentially duality. Because we see that everything really is animated, is given life by the one power. This power that is forever within us. And thus, through abstinence, by realizing this power within us, we see with lucidness. And we're led and guided inwardly from a profound and deep sense of beingness. And this guides us to engage in activity. Although seemingly outward projection of energy, really it's seen as sharing oneself with everything, including everything as a part of oneself, as an extension, a reflection of one's own inner being, as everything is a mirror of one's consciousness. And when we exist completely harmonious, perhaps as a result of committing to abstinence, there's not only a deep clarity, but also a deep interior peace that nothing in the world has the power to take away from us. It's always there. It's always here, wherever we are, wherever we happen to be, whatever the activity. And every activity is within it. We realize eternity. Therefore, we're never lonely, because we're always accompanied by the presence of divinity, by the divine presence, which can never leave us. Which is continually protecting us. And not to make it about me, but I've realized that the world can do without me. The world can do without Alex. So I don't plan on coming back in a physical body. And therefore I make this, share this as this one's last time go around in this world, on this planet. And how do I accomplish this? Again, abstinence is the sure way to say on the straight and narrow path, on the path of the divine, the path that, looping back to the beginning of the video, transcends time, transcends cycles and cyclical movement of the planet. Realizing, hey, it's good to be material affluent. That's okay. But I don't identify with it. I don't identify with that which I've been blessed with. Because every man has a natural deservedness. We deserve affluence. And when this comes, as we realize this abundance within, and it's reflected without in the form of material affluence and money and property and all these things which are temporary, of course, we appreciate them and value them. But we realize that God is our supply. That no man, food, bread, Our money allows us to survive. They're just simply parts and parcels of the one hand, the unseen hand, that is moving and animating all of us as we exist amidst the harmonious presence and are blessed with abundance, energetically, inwardly, and thus reflected outwardly as 3D reality.